Phoenix, you going off, going off, going off, going off.
Hello, kings and queens, and welcome to another episode of the Qween of Hearts Podcast. I am your host, Qween Leo. If you are a returning listener, welcome back. And if you are a new person who has stumbled on the kingdom, welcome, welcome, welcome. Now, today's episode, I wanted it to be fun. If you guys are familiar with season one, there's two episodes. One is actually a bonus episode, but there's two episodes in season one, both titled Queen Type Shit. And today I wanted to do something similar to that. So on those two episodes, I did actually a Q&A. I had the listeners send in questions, and then I just chose numbers. I numbered all the questions, and then I just chose numbers at random, and I answered a few questions. It was fun. If you haven't watched those episodes yet, definitely go back to season one and definitely tune in. It was fun. I feel like when it comes to the content I have on here, it's always very goal oriented, or it's very theme driven, or it's something always with a message. And I kind of wanted to give you guys just a deeper insight into who Qween Leo actually is. Hold on, see. I said I feel like I'm always on here like giving game and never really like giving you guys insight on who Qween is. So I felt like with the Q&A, it gave you guys this chance to really go into my viewpoint on certain things. And I dove into things from relationships to casual conversations about superheroes and superpowers. Um, so it's definitely a good little episode to watch. Something if you're definitely interested in getting to know a little bit more about me and just how I feel, my opinions on things. Definitely tune into those episodes. Like I said, today's episode is going to be no different. But today I wanted to do something a little bit different. We're not going to do the Q&A, but it's still going to be a little insight into my opinions on things. I got inspired to do it by watching, I love watching podcasts, but currently I'm watching, subscribe to, tune into weekly Shits and Gigs. And on there, they have a segment where they blind rank things. And it was just a very interesting segment. It's things like some things, like a couple episodes I've watched the blind ranking, and it's stuff I can get in on, but other stuff it's kind of like I can't because it's more on the UK side. But it is something I saw and I was like, this would be super cool to do. So today we are going to blind rate three different topics. I picked the topics, but I really didn't like dive in deep with the topics. I kind of like pick the topics, pick the little things to blind rank, and I haven't really dove back into it since. So I don't remember, and I am not quite familiar with the topics. So it's still going to be very new. So my opinions and my choices are still going to be very fresh. They're not staged or anything like that. And like I said, we're doing three different categories. Just a little, just a little fun game to play just to give you guys, like I said, a little bit insight on who Qween is and how she moves and how she thinks. So get comfortable, guys. Get your party favors, your blankets, your drinks. Today we're keeping it very cozy with our ice water. I'm actually currently on a detox. I'm on an apple cider vinegar detox, and I'm at the point in it where you're supposed to drink tons of water. So I'm just been on like a really big water kick. So I'm trying to get, this little health, a little detox, a little gut health going. But yes, definitely get your items and tune in, get comfortable, guys, and we're about to get started. Alrighty, guys. So with the topics that we're blind ranking, they are going to be geared towards relationships. So they're going to be a little fun. Definitely comment below your blind rankings. What were your results after each blind ranking? Comment below because I would love to hear your guys' opinions and feedbacks. Tell me how you rank them. Your five, because it's five. It's 3 categories with 5 different selections. So give me your 5 selections ranked and tell me why you rank them. Well, not why, but tell me if your blind ranking matches how you would rank them. And if you could change around your ranking, what would be? All right. So the first category is going to be blind ranking your non-negotiables. Non-negotiables. I think I'm saying that word right. In a relationship. Um, this should be quite interesting. Let's see here. The first one is emotional availability. All right. So when it comes to my non-negotiables in a relationship, emotional availability would be a non-negotiable in my relationship. Well, if you're not familiar with what it means, non-negotiables are pretty much like or not non-negotiables, but emotional availability is pretty much just being with someone who's in tune with their emotions, someone who can voice to you how they feel and voice to you when they're sad, mad, happy, and just being able to communicate and have those talks with you, and vice versa. When you're in those moods and you want to talk about your feelings, they're able to listen. It's having the emotions to not only empathize with someone, or yeah, empathize but also sympathize with someone. So it's being able to be in touch with your emotions and be in tune with your emotions, to hear your partner when they may voice how they feel, whether it be something um, upsetting them or something bringing them joy, something causing anger, like just being able to feel emotion and be in touch with it. Saying all that, being a non-negotiable in my relationship, knowing that there's 4 other choices to choose from, emotional availability would probably be number 2. As I grow older in my seasons in my life, um, I've grown to understand that I'm a very emotional person. I'm very sensitive. And I need a man who's able to be in touch with his emotions, to understand what I'm going through and what I might be saying or what I might be feeling or what might be just going on with me. Um, I feel like a lot of times as women, and it might not be all women, it might just be me, but I feel like a lot of times as women, we get into relationships with men and everything's good. Like, he might be financially good, he might be sexually good, he might be able to do all these things for you. But then when it's like, when moments come and it's time to be in your feelings, it's time to be sad, it's time to be all these things, I feel like we forget to look for that in a man. And when shit happens, shit hits the fan, and we're looking for a man to be like that for us, he's never really like that for us. And it's like, yeah, he's not like that because he never was like that. But we never noticed. We never paid attention. We never scoped it out when we were getting to know this person. We just started kicking with this person. And so then we get stuck with, oh, I'm so emotionally invested, or I'm into it with this person, and they might not be on the same wavelength as you. They might not be emotionally where you're at in the relationship, because that's just not how they see things. And then it's like you're stuck holding the bag with your own emotions. And I used to hear this song, the Janae Aiko song. I think it's her and Drake. Yeah, it's her and Drake. And she's like, I love me and I love me enough for the both of us. And it's like, I never used to understand what she meant by that, but it's like being with someone who's emotionally unavailable. I find myself a lot of times loving myself enough for the both of us. Um, and that's why it's like relationships like that aren't the best, because you end up giving 100 when that person's not giving anything. And then on those days when you need your partner to give 60 because you only got 40, they don't have it. When you have those days when you need your partner to give 70 because you all you have is 30 and you don't have your other 20 to make it 50-50, it and they can't even give you 50-50, let alone the extra 20 to make it 70. Like, it causes a strain in relationships, and I feel like that's something that people need to start looking for in the beginning. So in my mind, like in this season, like knowing what I know now, being where I am now, learning and going through the things I've gone through, emotional availability is key. It's not the top non-negotiable, because if that's one and there's four more, there's something else that's gonna top it. I know it, but that is something that's very much up there, and that's why I'm gonna give it two. So yes, emotional availability is getting two. Let's see. Our next one is consistency. Okay. Consistency is one. Consistency is one. I'm gonna put consistency at the top of the list. Non-negotiables in a relationship, consistency is number one, because when you're with a person, that's the end all be all. I'm gonna say that. Fuck all that. That's the end all be all. A person being consistent in your life is a non-negotiable. Like me now, like I said, in this season in my life, being with other people, been with other people. um, the moment they didn't show up for me, the moment they were not consistent, the moment they weren't a man of their word, the moment I had to question them as a man, because, like, me personally, and this is a hot take, all a man has is his balls and his word. That's all a man has. At the end of the day, all a man truly has in his lifetime is his balls and his word. So it's like, and some niggas don't even say balls; they'll say his word. All the man has at the end of the day is his word, and it's crazy how niggas fucking don't see that. I think they forget that part in life. Like, all you got is your word. So when you be with a woman and you lie and you're not consistent and you're not showing up and you're not doing that, you're not a man of your word. And when you're not a man of your word, are you even a man? Because what they said, all a man has in this world is his word. So if you don't have your word, that don't make you not a man. If you can't take accountability and stand on 10 and stand on business about whatever the fuck you done said in this lifetime, then you're not a man. And that's my hot take. People are not going to like it. People are going to judge it. People are going to comment on it. I don't give a fuck. I feel like that. Like, me being me, and like I said in previous episodes, I'm a girl who loves a man's man. So it's like, I'm looking at you to be that masculine man in my life. So it's like, and people say that derives from daddy issues, but that's a conversation for a different episode. But if I'm looking at you to be the protector in my life and my family and grow this legacy with me, I need you to be consistent. Because at the end of the day, I don't need you to just be consistent for me. I need you to be consistent for yourself. Because if you can't be consistent for me when it comes to a relationship, then I know you're not being consistent for yourself. And if you can't be consistent for me or for yourself, let's say we bring children in this, how can you constantly show up and be consistent for my children? At the end of the day, consistency is everything. You could show up every fucking day and be terrible, but it's the fact that you showing up and you trying. You putting forth an effort. You feel what I mean? You present with action. And I say the with action because that part do matter. But like, so it's like but being present in its totality is major. It's a major key. And being present comes with being consistent. So I'm gonna put consistency at the top of the list at number one. I don't think anything else on this list can top consistency and how much that's a non-negotiable. But let's see. The next one is shared values. Now, shared values. Shared values. I'm gonna put shared values at 3. That's right under emotional availability. I'm gonna put shared values at 3 because if I feel like we have to be on the same page, like thinking relationships, thinking like, because you have to think when you're not dating for just you two. You're dating to marry. You're dating to build a family. Like, you're dating for the long term, or at least I am. I know some people aren't. Some are just dating for other things, but whatever. Um, but if you're dating for like the long term, you kind of want someone with shared values, because if you guys have shared values, 9 times out of 10 you have a lot of things in common, so conversations flow easily, just as far as like relationship wise, which is good for longevity, because you guys will always be on the same page. You guys always understand each other, and it'll always be like you're with your friend, your best friend. So being having shared values in the sense of like you guys is also good, but like when you have it when it comes to family, it's great too, because it's like you when you bring someone in the world, and like I said in previous episodes, like I said with the book Atomic Habits, when we come into the world as children, we come in not knowing anything, and our village, our community around us, our mother, our father, our brothers, sisters, cousins, nieces, nephews, siblings, like just family, aunties, uncles, grandmas, grandpas, like all these people around us, neighbors, friends throughout the years, like they shape us. Their opinions, their views, all these things shape us how we are in the world. So if you are with someone and you guys don't have shared values, it's going to be very dysfunctional bringing that new person up in the world, because you guys are not going to always be on the same page. And if you're not on the same page, you're not going to instill the same things, the consistent, and that's when we go back to consistency. You won't be instilling that consistent belief or those consistent morals and values into this person, because you guys aren't on the same page. So I feel like shared values are really important. Are they more important than emotional availability and consistency? No, no. In the grand scheme of things, and that's where I'm at in this season, in the grand scheme of things, those are like top two still. So we're going to put shared values at 3. The next one is, financial stability. Okay, so like I said, these are non-negotiables in a relationship. We have our top 3. We have 2 spots left, 4 and 5. There are 2 options left. So we have this option, which is financial stability, and then we have another option that's to be disclosed. Between the 4th and the 5th spot, financial stability. I'm not a materialistic person. Now, don't get me wrong. I do love a Tory Burch bag. Let me tell you. Can't go wrong with a Tory Burch bag. Love me a good Tory Burch bag. Love me a good Telfair. Love me a good Telfair bag. Financial stability. I'm not materialistic. I don't like fancy, swancy things. I'm very good with like the not the basics, but enough that I'm comfortable. As long as I have my necessities to be comfortable and cozy, I'm good. You know, like I said, the season that we're in is Liberty City on Qween of Hearts. And one thing about Liberty City, coming from Miami in that gutter, I'm a hustler. I know how to get a dollar. At when I first started working in the restaurant industry, I worked at this one restaurant, and they used to call me Miss OT. Miss OT, OT Savage. And it was just because it was just me and this other girl, and we was like, they used to call us savages. And she was OG Savage. She was like one of the originals, because she was with me. We opened the store, so she was one of the originals with me, and she was like the head of her department. So she was like the OG Savage, and then I was the OT Savage, and I was OT Savage because I was always working. I'm sitting here, I'm getting sometimes in a week span, you get 40 hours. I'm getting sometimes 60 hours a week, anywhere between 41, because I'm always getting overtime, hence why I got OT. Savage is the nickname. So I'm anywhere between 41 and 67 hours a week, because I'm constantly there. I'm constantly working. So I know how to get a dollar. And even like it translate throughout my life. Like I've gotten higher in my positions and my ranks in my previous jobs. And it's like, cause I know how to get money. I know how to work. I know how to, like, my work ethic and my ambition is to gutter. Like I'm gonna get a dollar. So for me, I'm never looking at a man like, oh, you need to support me, because I'm gonna support my damn self. Now, do I feel like a man is supposed to provide? In certain extents, yes. But at the end of the day, me being his partner, me being his life partner, his soulmate, it's all these things in life for him, I got to be able to help him when he can't. So if he ain't in a position to where he can do something for me, it's not the end all be all. It's not like, oh, fuck you, nigga, you ain't got it, I'm done. No, but if you ain't got it, if you down and out right now, I got it. And that it goes back to, like I said earlier, with emotional availability. In a relationship, it's 50-50. But let's say at some point I can't give 50, all I got is 20. As my partner, you should be able to try your best to give the rest of the 80 so that we good. That's what you're here for. Like, we work together as a team. So even when it comes in the financial aspect, if we gonna be 50-50, but like, let's say you don't have your 50, you got 30. Okay, I'm gonna come up with my 20. So we can have 70 and you can have your 30, and we got that 100 at the end of the day. Like, I know how to step up and still be that partner for you. But I know that you're a man, and a man's position is to lead. So I'm going to let you lead. You feel what I'm saying? But I know that if the time comes, I know I have to step in place and be that for you. So for me, financials is not a big thing for me. It's not. Um, One thing I will say is that I do have certain stipulations, but I feel like that's just how we come into a relationship. Like, I have certain things that are just like no brainers for me. Like, at this day and age, I'm not dating a man that don't got no car, because at the end of the day, what is we doing? What is we doing? I already like, and there's no knock to niggas that don't have vehicles right now. But it's just like, I've already went through that stage in my life where I was with a nigga from the bus stop to the car. I've been through the struggle. I've been through the grind. I've been loyal to a nigga that deep. So it's like, for me, I'm I'm low key. I'm past that. I'm grown. I'm matured. I've grown past that stage. So I can't go back. Being with a nigga that don't got a car is me going backwards. So no, nigga gotta have a car. Um, Nigga gotta have a job. I can't fuck with you if you ain't got no job. And that's what I'm saying. You gotta have some fucking motion. Now, and I guess that's the stability part of it. Do you got the motion? As long as you got the motion and you doing what you gotta do, we just trade. But if you ain't got no motherfucking motion, we ain't got nothing. You feel what I'm saying? So, it's stability. When it comes to financial stability, it's really pretty much saying like, you got motion to keep us good. And as long as you got the ambition and the motherfucking motion, that's all you motherfucking need. So I'm gonna put financial stability at 5, because if you got stability, you got motion. And emotion is important. Actually, no, I'm gonna put it 4. I'm gonna put it 4. So it's gonna be top consistency. Number 2 is emotional availability. Number 3 is shared values, and number 4 is going to be um, financial stability. That leaves our last one, which is sexual compatibility, going at 5. And I believe that sexual compatibility it's big, but it's not that big, because I feel like that's something you can teach. It's not a non-negotiable, because that's something you can teach. If you really fuck with a person, if you really fuck with a person, you can teach that. That's teachable. I could teach you how to fuck me. You could teach me how to fuck you. If we not like, that's really what sex is in the relationship anyway. When you first meet a person, you don't know how they want to be fucked. You don't know if they want it from the back, they want it from the side, they want it upside down, they want it in the shower, they want it on the patio, they want it in the kitchen, they want a leg over your head and a leg above their head. Like, you don't know how she want it. But you take the time and you spend the energy learning your partner, learning their body, learning what they like and how they like it, and you perform better into their likeness. And I feel like, so in the end, well, in the beginning, we already come into the game with no sexual compatibility, because we don't really know how you like it. So if you could teach throughout the relationship like how you like it, you'll be fine. You could do that. That's easy. Just like that. And even if not, it's not even so much teaching. You guys might find your sexual compatibilityness through the relationship. You might experiment. You might try new things. You might find shit y'all both like and grow to have that. That's something that can be molded and can be attended to. The rest of the things, no. Those are non-negotiables. Those are things that you got to have it. It ain't on you. It's in you. So I feel like, because they all come with a trait within yourself. Like, you have to be emotionally available. You have to be in tune with your emotions and self-aware. Consistency. You have to be disciplined. You have to want it. You have to care. Shared values. You have to have these positive mindsets and ideals in life. Financial stability. You got to have ambition. To have that stability part, you got to have that ambition and have motion. To keep a consistent motion, which jumps all the way back to number 1. That's just like, you can't have 4 without 1. So what 4 would always be without before. 4 would always be after 1 because you can't have 4 without 1. Consistency is key. So these traits, these are all things that are traits that have to be in you. Sex is something that's on you. Your penis is on you. I can teach you some rhythm and how to stroke. That's teachable. But being a real ass nigga and a man of your word, that's something that you gotta just have in you. But yes, guys, comment below. What was your blind ranking list and where did everything fall when the smoke cleared? It's funny because if you would have asked me this probably about 10 years ago, like if I blind ranked these things probably about 10 years ago, how old was I 10 years ago? 10 years ago, I was 18. 10 years ago, if you would ask me this, financial stability would have been up more on the list for sure. And sex would have been higher on the list. Simply because I was somewhere where I wasn't happy in those two departments when it came to financials and it came to sex. So I think I did a lot of things out of me prioritizing those because I was somewhere that lacked in those departments. So I think in my mind they meant a lot more than they do now. Being somewhere now, like in this time of my life, being with someone who financially is very secure and sexually very satisfying, I just don't see I now don't see the need for those things anymore as strongly as I did then, because I've just being with a man who's got his own shit, not even from him. Being with a nigga that tried to take everything from me, it's built this beast inside of me to make sure I always got my own. So a nigga being financially stable don't matter to me, like I said, no more. Because I'm always have me. I'm always be good. So my ship, like I tell my dude, no, really what he tells me, but I say it to him too. Ship gonna float with or without me, with or without him. So ship gonna always float over here. It's gonna float with or without. So those things ain't too big on the list now as I get older and I'm more into my identity. All right. And then we're going to take a quick break, guys. But before we go into our break, just a question to take into with you guys, and we're going to answer when we come back. What's one non-negotiable that you've compromised on that you regret? Take a moment, think about it, guys, unpack it. When we come back from our break, we are going to discuss further. All right, guys, and we are back. And the question, like I asked before the break, what's one non negotiable you've compromised on that you regret? I compromised on consistency. I was with someone, and it's crazy because and I think that's more why I put consistency at the top of the list now, because I understood that I compromised on it. I was with a guy, and everything was good at first. It's always great at first. And then like I didn't know about the representative. He introduced me to the representative, and after dealing with him for a while, I learned a lot about what he had going on. And it was a lot, and it put me through the ringer. And I settled for him being inconsistent in my life because I thought he would get better. I thought he would grow. Um, he would talk to me as if like I was his soulmate. He would talk to me like he had met the girl of his dreams. And coming from where I come from, the relationship I had been in, just relationships I had been in, I had never met a man who felt like that about me. And not only did he feel that way about me, but he showed it. like I said, it was great those first few months because he showed that consistency, and he showed what he meant when he was like, he used to call me his American Dream doll. Um, but he used to just talk to me and tell me how he was gonna make this life, and he was doing all these things and showing me these things that we were gonna be and have. And after I went through all the shit that I went through with him, it killed me because after I longed I longed for consistency my whole life, but I didn't know that's what I wanted. So to meet him and for him to introduce it to me and show it to me, and then on the back end just switch up because it's like, no, you had so much other shit going on, and you probably didn't mean all those things you said to me, and you were just caught up in the moment. I was not gonna cry on this episode. It was supposed to be a fun fucking episode. Um, but yeah, just expressing things to me and portraying a life to me that I'd never seen before, that he knew that I wanted, that he knew that I longed for. I desired that life because I never had it with my previous partner, and he knew that, and he saw it. In I would hate to say he preyed on it because he didn't. I would hate to look at him in that light because I don't see him like a predator. I don't say that like he preyed on it, but I told him all the time, he sold me a dream. He sold me a dream, and it was a nice fucking dream. It was a nice looking fucking dream. And then it's not what he meant. And it made me appreciate consistency even more because he grew to be inconsistent. But I knew how he could be when he was consistent. And I knew the type of guy he was off how consistent he could be for everyone else in his life. And I thought, I was going to fit in that world. And, after a while, I just knew I wasn't. I knew I wasn't. And after a while, you have to woman up, look that nigga in his face and ask him, like really ask him. And I think that was something I was scared of for a while with him, was really looking him dead in his eye and asking him, like, hey, what's good? And it's because I think, like, deep down, I knew, like, he was gonna come with some bullshit. He was gonna say some shit I didn't want to hear. He was gonna, he was gonna shake the room. I'm trying to get my mic right. I'm sorry, but he was gonna shake the room, and I think I was scared of it for months. I was scared of it. I think deep down I knew, like, he was gonna shake the room if I asked these questions, and I avoided it, and I avoided it, and then finally I said, fuck it, I'm gonna ask him, and I asked him, and there's been days that man broke my heart. There's been days that man had me down and fucking out, and nothing hurt more than the day I finally womaned up and asked him those questions because I never looked at him the same. And I think he knew it, he felt it, and that's why like things went the way they went with us, because my life changed, my mind changed, my heart changed, everything changed the day he answered those questions and said the things that I knew he was going to say that I didn't want him to say. They say it all the time, like, the truth fucking hurts. And it does. The truth fucking hurts. But at least, if you know the truth fucking hurts, at least be a good fucking liar. Be a good fucking liar. Oh, but done with the journal, done with the shadow work. Let's get into the second blind ranking. Um, the second blind ranking is going to be red flags in men you date. How fucking fitting. Producers over here at Qween of Hearts are on their shit in the studio. Okay. So, again, 5 answers on the board. First one is, all right, red flag, the first red flag to blind rank is he refuses therapy. Um, I won't say that's a super big red flag. Because some people might refuse therapy for certain reasons, so you never really know why. So, I'm gonna put he refuses therapy at 5. Okay, next one. All right, the second red flag is he's a podcast bro. Hmm. What's a podcast bro? Let's see. A podcast bro refers to the type of podcast host, often male, who engages in casual testosterone driven banter and often has a right leaning or bar stool conservative perspective. Oh shit, this should have been five. I mean, no, this should have been. This is a high red flag. Um, let's see. Uh, he's a podcast bro. I'm gonna put this at two because something else is gonna eat at me. I know it. I know it. I know it. I know it. Just like how sexual and financial came like last, and I kind of like, I'm gonna put that at two, just because like if he's um a podcast bro and he's right wing conservative, that's an issue because I'm very liberal in my thoughts, but we don't get very political over here at Qween Leo shop. We're very you know we're kind of we keep it light. We keep it light. It gets too raunchy when you get to politics. But let's see. The third red flag on the list is, let's see. The third red flag is he never posts you. Um, that's not really a red flag just because I've never dealt with a man that's posted me on social media, so it would never really be a red flag. Um, yeah, I've never dealt with a man, so it's not something I'm used to or not used to. I've seen other couples post, but it's not like something that's crazy. So I'll just put that at four. Let's see what the next one is. He still talks to his ex. Ooh. I'm gonna put this at one. After the shit I've been through, I'm gonna put this at one. Um, this is gonna be probably my top red flag in this category. I don't think anything else is gonna top this. Simply because they're your ex for a reason. You and this person separated for a reason. There's a reason why y'all can't work out, y'all can't do it anymore, and y'all decided to separate. If you still conversating with her and talking to her and all this stuff, why aren't y'all together? You know? And it's crazy because I had asked someone that question before, and I was like, why aren't you and that person together? And it's like it's a deep question. It gets deep and it really touches some nerves. But it's a good question to ask in relationships why they're not with their ex partners. But if you still talking to her, what the fuck could y'all possibly be talking about? You know what I mean? And that's the thing. Y'all still talking could slip back into a relationship. They could slip back into y'all falling in love. They could slip back into y'all building that bond. So it's like, what do y'all still have to talk about? You know? Um, so that's a big red flag for me because it's like if you're still talking to her, then you're still something in you is still invested there. And if it's still invested there, then why are you over here wasting my time? You know? So I'll put that at the top of the list. Top of the list is talks to his ex still. All right, which brings us to our last one, which is at three. He has zero male friends. Ooh, I'm sorry, y'all. That is kind of like perfect of a list. He has zero male friends at three, just because. What kind are you implying that he has female friends? See, that question can be open ended. Because are you implying that he has female friends only and no male friends? Or are you saying like just in general no male friends? So that leaves a little bit more room. If he just has no male friends in general, that he could be a loner. I've dealt with people that really don't have friends like that. They kick it with a few, but they don't really have friends like that. But this is saying zero. Zero is a crazy number. That's why I say, is it because he has female friends in place of the male friends? I don't know. I don't know. You have to answer. I have questions for that one. But yes, that is my blind ranking of red flags in men you date. Again, guys, comment below what was your top five blind ranking, and do you agree with your list? Why or why not? Um, Going on this list, also comment which red flags did you use to excuse, and what did it cost you? It's a good question to ask. I'm not going to answer it because we're not going to cry anymore in this episode, and I just feel a lot of tears coming behind that question. But definitely comment below what red flags did you use to excuse, and what has it taught you? And now let's go into our third and final blind ranking. All right, and now our final blind ranking. First date it. First date icks. So these are just gonna be things that happen on the first date that are just gonna fucking disgust you. So our first one is going to be oversharing trauma too soon. I'm gonna put this at 3 because as if it's like serious ass trauma, why the fuck are you telling me this at the first date? But if we're in the middle of like a good conversation, we're talking, we're D1 yapping, and we get to some like hot and heavy deep shit, then I get it. And if we go there, we go there. But if off the muscle you're just hitting me with this, then yes, it's definitely too much. So I'm gonna put it right there in that middle line. We're gonna give it a 3 spot. Let's see. The next one is asses to split the bill on the first date. Again, like I said, money is, I'm not big on like materials shit, but asking to split the bill, I'm gonna put this at 2. Ooh, that's a tough one. Should I put it that high? Because it does piss me off. Because if you ask me on a date, if you just sat here and pursued me, like most of the time, that's how niggas do. If you're gonna sit here and be all in my fucking face, ask me on a date and not pay for it, that's just weird as fuck. And ask me to go half, no, because you was in my face. I didn't ask for this date. I was living fine till you kept bothering me at the store trying to get my number. So no, pay for the fucking date. That's what I'm like. Is it an ick? Hell the fuck yes. So why the fuck are you asking me? But do I feel like it's a 1 or 2? And do I feel like you're gonna hit me with something that's gonna be more egregious than that? Hell yeah. Um, I'm gonna put it at asks us to split the bill on the first date. We're gonna put it at, is it worse than oversharing trauma? Yes. So we're gonna put it at 2. Fuck it. Fuck it. That's where I labeled it. So I gotta put it there. Put it at 2. Okay. Our next one. Talking about his ex. I'm gonna put this at 4 because if you're just out of a relationship and you want to like just have that moment to just like, oh, this is why. Because I'm gonna ask you like, why did you in your last situation end anyway? So it's really not that big a deal. I'm gonna ask you. But if you're just like D1 yapping about her, then we got a problem because it's like, nigga, you don't want to ask me what my hobbies are. You want to talk about her so damn much. So no, I'm gonna put it there. I'm gonna put it there. I'm gonna put it 4. Our next one is doesn't tip the waiter. I'm gonna put this at 1. This is going at 1 because I was a server and a bartender. It is not going at 5, and it can't go at what's left. So this did 2, 3, and 4. Yeah, so it's either 1 or 5. It's not going at 5. This is major to me. If you don't tip the waiter, that tells me a lot about you. That tells me a lot about you because people who understand the business of servers tip servers. So if you don't tip a server, you don't understand the business. You don't understand the life. You don't understand that person. So that lets me know, like, if you came in my job to see me, you ain't gonna tip. you're not going to show love. You're not going to break bread. And it's not like I said, I'm not pressed about money, but it's the principle of the stuff I'm doing for you. All the aspects that go into wining and dining in restaurants, being a server, taking your order, anticipating your need, making sure you have everything you need the whole time. It's a lot of aspects that go into it. So if you're not for the people, I can't fuck with you. So that would definitely be a big ick at the end if you don't tip, which would then leave the last one at asks, what do you bring to the table? And that's okay to go to five because you can ask me that because I'm actually that. What do you bring to the table to be up in my face? So if you came back and said, okay, same ditto, what do you bring to the table? I'll answer it without a problem. So I definitely put that at five because that's a common question to ask. So that is going to be my final blind rank on first date icks, guys. Comment below what was your ranking for those, and do you agree with it? Thank you guys again for tuning into another episode of the Qween of Hearts podcast. Um, we had fun today. We dived into a lot of things. You guys got me deep into my feels. Things I wasn't trying to talk about, I talked about. We talked about men and first date icks. We talked about red flags in men that we date in this crazy world. And we talked about your non-negotiables in relationships. If you ever want me to do another episode like this again, comment below. And we can definitely do that. And give me categories that you would like to see me blind rank. Again, guys, go on qweenleo.shop to find everything Qween Leo. You will find music ratings. You will find lookbooks. You will find best dressed categories. You will find the podcast. I stream the podcast from that website. Um, Also on the website, I do have my blogs. Each blog I post does accompany either my book club or my episodes or just something fun I want to post on the website. So definitely check it out. There's a lot of different stuff for you to read and just get knowledge on. On my website at the end, I mean, if you scroll all the way to the bottom, there is a ticking banter with all of my social media platforms. Follow me on Instagram. Um, I have my personal page at the Qween Leo, my podcast page, Qween of Hearts Pod, and I have the brand page, which is Qween Leo LLC. Follow me on Twitter at the Qween Leo. Follow me on TikTok at Qween Leo 96. Follow me on Pinterest at the Qween Leo, and follow me at YouTube on the Qween Leo. There you will find all of the visuals of the episodes for the podcast. They're not all the way visual because they don't per se have my face, but it has my intro video. It has, if I'm doing any type of recap, it'll have live images and pictures for you to accompany what I'm talking about. So yes, guys, tune in. Thank you guys for tuning into this episode for one, and tune into the next episode that will be coming out shortly. Again, guys, this is Qween Leo signing off. Thank you for joining me again, guys. It's been amazing. I can't wait to see you again. Deuces.
Genix, you going off, going off, going off.